Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll begin with chapter 27, verse 20. Chapter 27, verse 20. Okay, very first pasuk of the parsha. The pasuk says, "V'atah tetzaveh b'nei Yisrael." This is God speaking to Moshe. You should command the Jewish people. V'yikhloi lecha, they will bring to you shemen zayizach kasis lamaor, finely pressed oil for, to use for fuel for light, lalos ner tamid, for the daily lighting of the menorah. The introductory phrasing here is very interesting. You should command Bnei Yisrael. The general mode of the psukim is you do this, you do this, you do this. And the you, though it's in the singular, he's speaking to Moshe, but the point is Moshe should see to it that it's done. Here, it's saying, tell Bnei Yisrael to do as follows. And that's an interesting language when you think about it. Tell Bnei Yisrael to do as follows. By the way, not only tell Bnei Yisrael to do as follows, but they should bring it to you. Why do they have to bring it to Moshe? Why can't they just bring it wherever everything else is supposed to go? We don't have that in general, that they should bring it to you. Okay, so let's see the Ramban. Ramban on Pasuk Chav. Amar HaKasuv B'kan V'atot Tetzaveh Bavur She'amar B'mishkan Tamid V'asisa V'hu B'tzivui, being that the normal language for instruction regarding construction of the items of the Mishkan is you should do. Amar B'kan V'atot B'atzmecha Tetzaveh Lahem Sheyichloi Lecha Shemen HaMaor. So here the language is, you, Moshe, need to instruct the Bnei Israel to bring you oil. Ki ein lahem derech lasos oso b'midbar, rak im haya etzlam mishmeres, v'anasiim heviyuhu. So basically, being that they're in the desert, the only way that they can do this effectively is if they have some kind of delegation, in the sense that the Nesiim are on top of it, the heads of tribes are on top of it. There has to be very clear instruction and very clear direction as to who is supposed to do what. It's a very interesting Ramban. I'm not sure I fully understand it, to be honest with you, but that's the pshat that he's saying. And now it says they should bring it to you. Sheviu lefanav v'yirenu im huzach v'kasas karoi. So the Ramban says the reason why it says it has to be brought to Moshe is Moshe needs to assess that it's appropriately pressed, finely pressed olive oil. Moshe needs to make that assessment. So that's why they have to bring it to you. And presumably that's also what the Ramban means, as that you should command, that it's not just enough, everything else you just kind of send a memo out. But this, you have to sort of reach out to the heads of tribe, and they have to make sure it's done appropriately. And then ultimately, the ultimate judgment has to be by Moshe Rabbeinu. Very interesting comments from the Ramban over here. Okay, now let's see the sforno, second sforno on the pasuk. V'yikhloi lecha kishe yitztarech. They should bring you the oil as it's needed. V'zeh yeh b'chlos Hashem lamaor.
He's frozen. I sent him a text.
Thank you, Debbie.
He's probably going out and coming in again.
And that's what he had to do the other night when this happened. Yeah.
Not listed on the chat, so he's no longer on.
Right. He got off. Mrs. Sperling is now the host. Usually I get made the host. I don't know why I did that, but
Well, surely now that you're in charge, you have great powers.
yeah, his computer crashed. He's getting back on. He sends his apologies.
How does it know who to host to once you lose the original host?
Usually it's me because I actually have a YISE Zoom account.
Okay,
I'm not sure why it did what it did now.
okay.
Maybe because she was the first one on or something. I don't know.
Is your background, Debbie, in response to that?
Yeah, it was because of the National Day of Hate. I don't know how long it will stay up, but it seemed appropriate for a day or two. So
Yeah, I mean, what a crazy thing, a National Day of Hate. My God.
Yeah.
Wow.
as somebody said, if there were only one such day, we'd be in good shape. But
While we're waiting, maybe Rabbi Roy, maybe you can tell us. They're in the middle of the desert. Where in the heck are they going to find olive oil?
I believe that's a very good question. I believe that just like they brought other precious things that were used in the Mishkan, like gold and silver and woods and stuff like that, from Egypt, after all, olive oil was a commodity also that they would have taken and brought with them, but was probably in very limited supply.
Good answer. Good answer.
And I asked Julie to ask me that so I could show off.
Yeah.
You frame that in the form of a question?
Well, anyways, I just want to say for the ones of us that were at the dinner last night, we'll give you a report. It was really, really
It was
nice.
fabulous.
Yeah. And I didn't know they could make the hall look so nice,
It was gorgeous.
Yeah. And I didn't know, have they always had that big chandelier in the center? I don't know. I never noticed it before, but everything was dimmed. And then there were candles on the table. So it was much more notable. And the speeches were wonderful. It's,
Right.
So meaningful, each one.
From start to end, it was a beautiful evening.
Well,
Yeah,
they had great honor. They had great honorees.
True.
They did
true.
have great honorees. And the music was a very nice touch. And that composition by Stewart
Yeah.
was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
his music is really pretty impressive.
Yeah. Have you heard his music before, Debbie?
And it's just his hobby. I mean, it's not as if he
Well,
was.
he wants to retire and then devote himself to composing.
Right. And he really actually only started, I mean, I've heard him play piano for years, but he really only started pulling the music, his own composition and music together recently when he could figure out how to do it electronically because he.
Oh, he's coming on. Not much time left, but let's see.
Yes, he has to talk fast.
Yeah.
But Rabbi Roy filled in and then we got an update on the dinner. We've been very productive.
Yeah.
Good reporting, Debbie.
Where did he, oh, there he is.
Did he
Where
leave
did
already?
you
He jumped over to the side, at least on mine. I don't know why he moved.
hear his music before, Debbie?
He's been
You
posting
know,
it
I'm
on
really
Facebook.
sorry. Let me just jump back in, okay? I'm sorry, everybody. It's late. I apologize for the, so just to sum up what we were talking about. So the first pasuk says, "V'koelecha," they should bring the oil to Moshe. So the Ramban said they should bring the oil to Moshe. Only Moshe can be sure that the oil is appropriately pressed. The Sforno says what it means that the pasuk they should bring it to you is that the idea is it's not a one-time instruction. In other words, it's not just like one time that they should bring the oil to the Mishkan. Every time that there's more oil needed, they should press it and bring it to you. So V'yichoi lecha, the Sforno says they should bring it to you as needed. That's how the Sforno explains it. Okay, moving on to chapter 28, verse 1. You should bring to you Aaron, your brother, his sons with him. Mitoch Pnei Yisrael chanoli. You should bring Aaron and his sons among the Jewish people to designate him as a priest in service to Hashem. Aaron, Nadav, Avihu, Elazar, V'Samar b'nei Aaron. Aaron, Nadav, Avihu, Elazar, and Isamar, his sons. Now, it said at the beginning of the pasuk, you should bring Aaron and his sons. So why in the world does it have to say at the end of the pasuk, Aaron, Nadav, Avihu, Elazar, and Isamar, his sons? We've already been told the family tree of Aaron. So why is that necessary? It's a very interesting Ramban. I really want to share this because this is something people ask about every now and then. It's just nice to see it sort of traced to a pasuk. Ramban on pasuk Aleph. V'tam Nadav, Avihu, Elazar, V'Samar b'nei Aaron. Shlo yachshov ki b'mashecho av l'chano yiyu habanim ha'ela kahunim. Because you might have thought that to the extent that Aaron is being designated as a Kohen, and it's also being told that it's Aaron and his sons, so doesn't that mean that everybody, all of Aaron's sons, are in, by extension of Aaron? Aval lahem ba'atzmam yechaim. It's not that only Aaron is designated as a Kohen and then everyone else is by extension of him. These specific people are designated as Kohanim. Aaron and his sons, Nadav, Avihu, Elazar, and Isamar, V'hinei Yatsa Pinchas Ushar Hanoladim. This excludes Pinchas, or anyone else for that matter who had already been born. Pinchas was a grandson of Aaron. So if you say that it's just an automatic thing, Aaron and all of his male family become Kohanim. Then Pinchas, who already is alive as a grandson, should also be a Kohen. But that's not the rule. The rule is that these specific people are being designated as Kohanim. Shelo niskanu rak elu ha'arbanim shacham imo umoladatam sheyolidu achreichen. There are 5 people designated as Kohanim: Aaron and his sons Nadav, Avihu, Elazar, and Isamar. Anyone born from these individuals will be Kohanim in the future. Anyone born in the future from these individuals, but any other people currently living aren't included. And that's why people frequently ask about, well, what was Pinchas' status before he had his whole story of zealotry? And the answer is he was a regular member of Klal Yisrael. He wasn't a Kohen. And it says the Ramban, that really comes from this pasuk. So I'm sorry that we had significant technical difficulty today. I suppose the most common thing you talked about is where am I exactly? But besides that, we discussed the Ramban about the unique language of the instruction of Bnei Yisrael regarding the oil. We discussed the Ramban and the Sforno regarding this language of bringing it to Moshe. And we also discussed the specific designation of Aaron and his sons as Kohanim.